guys. Are you there? What you got?
I am indeed.
You are. Okay. All right. So welcome back here. We got game number 2 coming at us, and already interesting start. Clanks was banned, so there's that answer.
There we go.
Midas Magma's Trumbull
Right,
also banned.
the right move, banning the clanks.
Yeah. Which I find it even a little more interesting considering that they're the Legion this time. Like, if anything, they could have maybe picked it up themselves. I don't know how comfortable they are, though, with it. But
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up,
yeah,
of course.
I
But they
always
do
do
get
that.
the behemoth, so great hero.
Yeah, he's been a popular one as of late, that's for sure. But that's also kind of another interesting thing with Behemoth. I know there's a lot of, there's some complaints here and there about him on the TMM scene and how you just buy a Merrick's Bounty with him and it's so overpowered you can just sit back and get like a free portal key a little bit into the game. That doesn't exist, though, in the competitive scene. Yet he's still considered a top-tier hero, so that's I find that interesting about Behemoth.
Yeah, it's all about being able to set up kills and just um, like he's really good at getting the lane positioning with the fissure, obviously. So he's a suicide that although he doesn't have an escape like most traditional suicides do, he is able to most of the time guarantee himself at least levels. And that's pretty much obviously you want the portal key, but that'll come with time. The levels are really the most important thing that any suicide hero can ask for. And so as long as you can get that, you can usually be impactful throughout a game.
How about this here? Deadlift
Yep.
coming out for good old Mystery Gang. All right, so that's a little different. Don't see much Deadlift on the scene.
Yeah, Deadlift. I like to kind of refer to him as kind of like a cheesy hero because I think he's kind of cheesy in the sense that he's super strong early game. He's really disruptive. He's able to put a lot of pressure on the lanes with the Dead Shall Rise ability as well as the Onslaught for
Hmm.
pushing towers. But he is going up against a Parasite, so I do actually like the pickup in this game. That's gonna kind of I want to say deter Parasite from going the puzzle box because if he can get the Onslaught ability onto the Parasite in the puzzle box, that means Parasite's going to be basically killing his own team. So if that does end up playing out, it's going to be pretty interesting to see Parasite sitting in a mauler killing one of his own teammates. But
Yeah. You know what I wanted to see, speaking of that synergy, is with Boo Boo, because it also works just something like that. And, we haven't seen a little bit of Wild Soul, and I remember that being a thing, and I kind of, but those, especially Wild Soul at that time, still not really seen like better scene, and Deadlift obviously new, but there's potential for that. We see plenty of Wild Soul and Deadlift every now and then, so that could be something to think about if you're going up against a Wild Soul. That,
yeah, and another thing that comes to my mind is Hellbringer with Malphus. Like you can
yep,
make Malphus attack your own teammates, and we all know that ability is really strong. Like
yeah.
if you let Malphus sit in a team fight over time, it does so much damage. So
And then there's Kongor. but
and
uh,
there's got
there is also that, but that's a little bit of an issue with positioning and everything, I guess. But
just send Kongor to kill their base.
yeah. Well, wait till Scrap. Wait till Scrap is available, man. There's that too with
Oh yeah.
his minion there. All right, we got the fourth pick though. Blitz coming out for Mystery Gang. Is this another dual support? I guess we're gonna be seeing here.
I think so. There is potential for a core Pyromancer. However, I think what we're used to seeing at least is Pyromancer in that either main support or secondary support role. But yeah, Blitz, the hero more so standing out, I would say. And I think Blitz is a really, really good hero if you want to do like a really aggressive makeup and just play really active. The hero really shines at, causing disruption. He can speed up his teammates. He has really good crowd controlling spells that all slow and stun.
Hmm.
He's really good against Switchblade specifically, so I like him in this game. Just being able to get people away from the Blade Frenzy is a really good tool. That's where Switchblade really does a lot of his damage in the early game. So Blitz is really good at dealing with Switchblade, and he's really good against melee carries in general because Lightning Shackles does go through magic immune targets. So I do like the Blitz.
Yeah. And this is an interesting sequence there. Master of Arms, you speak of a hero like Deadlift, who's going to build up somewhat of a minion army, and obviously Master of Arms good against that. The counter push idea. You got Nighthound though, the final pick, and that really seems like it's coming out of left field. I mean, he's not.
Yeah.
Deadlift is more of a pushing, as we're kind of getting at hero. Yet Nighthound is not that whatsoever right here. So it's
Yeah, I agree. Nighthound is kind of I will say the one thing about Nighthound though, he is a very active carry in that sense. So if they are going for this like really aggressive, we want to fight you, push your towers kind of strategy early on. Once Nighthound does get like, he could get like one smaller item even with like the Nullfire Blade, even just picking up Steam Boots and an Energizer, he can like roam with his team and set up kills. So I mean, in that sense, I think it's okay, but I do agree with you in the sense that he's not really like a team fighting hero or like a pusher. So I don't know if he's gonna necessarily fit this lineup super well just yet, but I think it could potentially do okay.
Voodoo
And
Jester, final pick. Another kind of
yeah,
counter
so
deadlift to an extent.
yeah, so they're gonna have the acid cocktail to deal with at least some of the minions that Deadlift's gonna control, and that means we are gonna see a core Master of Arms rather than a support Master of Arms, being played by Imboboy here.
Yep. Yeah, we've seen him do that a couple times. Obviously, the potential is there for this hero, so not your everyday by any means, but going to be happening here. Embry playing the Swiftlet, indeed, in place in the middle lane currently. So, Deadlift, though, should we expect to see him suicide here, or no? Because, I mean, Behemoth...
Well,
Oh.
what I think I think he's a pretty good suicide. However, I've been at least in the TMM scene, I've been seeing him played a lot in the jungle role. Um, the thing that's actually we're gonna MOA is gonna run straight into them here.
Uh-oh. Wow, I mean, Emma Boy,
That's a dead MOA.
that's not a mistake we see from him. Like, what was he thinking there? They just weren't here, I
Yeah,
guess, but...
I don't know if he just maybe wasn't expecting them to be there. I guess what he was thinking. But Deadlift, he's one of those heroes I've actually been seeing jungle more recently, and I think the reason for that is the buffs to his Q ability, the Death Grip, actually has it has a 3300 range, which means you can pretty much sit like in the forest near mid when you're jungling, and you can just use that ability, channel it up through the river, and you can like immobilize the hero that's mid and set up a kill like with your mid lane or even your short lane fairly effectively. At least that's what I've been seeing in the TMM scene, and it's like it's really strong, and it seems to cause a lot of disruption for the opposing team.
Interesting.
But we do see him in the top lane here, so I guess we're not going to see him, or at least I don't expect to see him in the jungling role.
Yeah.
Just yet.
I don't know, because Just Man here on Pyromancer, he kind of has built, too, to be more of a farming pyro. With
Yeah,
that.
he doesn't. His items don't scream, "I'm supporting."
Yeah.
At least just yet. So.
I mean, he even takes the last hit right there. Or you know what they're doing? They're just push. Like, that's not what this is, really. It's just, we just want to push your tower ASAP. And obviously, Deadlift's great for that. The first time we saw Deadlift, I want to say, in a competitive match, it was like a 2.5-minute tower kill. So, this is even faster. I mean, he doesn't even have Onslaught yet.
Yeah, and we see Switchblade being put up here just to kind of be the hero that absorbs the experience from the tower. They're not looking to contest this lane at all, which I think is definitely the right decision, seeing as how they have the Parasite and kind of like the strategy Mystery Gang went for last game, running the jungler. We see action middle lane Parasite with the Skeleton King gonna take down Behemoth, so nice rotation there. Actually, near playing the jungle role this game, they did swap out a player. I don't know if we mentioned that, but I think it was Matthias was stepping in last game.
Starzors is now in place. Interesting.
So yeah, they've actually switched roles with a couple players. So that's something to point out as well near switching to jungle. Obviously a very capable player playing jungle. We used to see him, I forget back when, but not too long ago, he used to play the jungle before they added Tankafet to the team. So he's definitely capable of playing that role. But yeah, I do like the decision for them to just put the Switchblade up here, and he's actually just transitioned into farming the jungle. And they're going to make sure to put levels on their Parasite as well as their Master of Arms in the middle lane so that way they can prepare for the push later with the levels up on MOA.
So the question is, does Deadlift? I mean, obviously going to keep going here, but are they going to really commit to continuing this push? 'Cause if they go to the secondary tower, you would think that they might want to put up a little bit of resistance, right? Or will they even just give this up too?
I think just because of how early it is into the game, they're okay with giving this tower up, and again, just letting Switchblade take experience up here. He really can't die simply due to um, the spin really allowing him to. Actually,
Oh,
he might die here.
unless this happens. You were
Yeah. Okay.
saying?
So I was saying he can't die, but without any help from anybody, they can just do that to him. So, but yeah, I'm okay with ECX giving up this tower in the sense that in return for them doing so, they're guaranteeing levels on their heroes. Once they have levels up on their heroes, they're gonna. This experience lead is only about 200 right now, but once it gets to maybe like the 6-7 minute mark, I expect this number to greatly increase, simply due to 3 heroes up here for Legion sitting together, absorbing a lot of experience together.
Yeah.
So I think the name of the game for ECX this game is just to get experience rather than gold. And experience, I think, is going to play a big part.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up for sure. And, obviously addressing the individual lanes, we already saw them killing Behemoth in the middle lane. And Ninehound, he was getting heavily harassed right there for a little bit, but at the same time, he's also now 400 plus gold per minute. Obviously, the tower kill assisting there as well. And a hero kill on top of that, for that matter, that he actually got credit for. The Bloodlust at the beginning of the game, so I guess that has a lot to do with it even. But yeah, the levels are going to start coming to be a factor here for this Legion team, no doubt. And yeah, we see this tower even, especially even when we get in the Swiftblade, so maybe the push isn't as crazy. I mean, I guess that is back to the levels. Deadlift is sharing this experience right here, where if maybe, he was doing this by himself, he'd be, say, level 5 by now, that Onslaught level 3 probably, and it's pretty ridiculous once that starts getting up there, especially how just quickly you can burn down towers. So it's not going down the fastest with that said. And I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that Justman didn't go Fervor here, knowing that is decent for tower pushing, which it seems like is the idea at least. So Night Out, by the way, bottom lane though, Dust is on him. He does have his ultimate, but obviously not coming into play here. Are they going to go chasing down in time? They cannot. The dust eventually wears off, and now they're going to have to guess here. He actually opens up to take off the health potion.
Oh boy!
I don't know what the logic was though.
That was
Okay.
Okay, so he's saying you must have wanted to click on the ground rather than the hero, so
Yeah.
that's what happened. But yeah, I think it's okay that Pyro has skipped Fervor just because Deadlift on his own can really just do all the pushing they need. Pyro's more of like this is our way of killing hero for their team, or at least one of them. And I was actually going to point out how I thought it was actually a mistake of them to skip Ring of the Teacher. I think, seeing as how they do have 3 heroes up here, they could have afforded to have gone that earlier, but I did notice he bought it and sent it out, which it just got delivered to him.
Yeah.
So I think that was actually the bigger issue, was them not having the aura for the creeps to assist them with not only tanking tower hits, but just pushing faster in general.
Yeah. I mean, you see right here he does have it now,
Yeah, the tower,
but later.
Now with that picked up, the tower is going to definitely go down a lot quicker.
Well, maybe they took a little too long, though, because here comes Master of Arms. He's level 6, so could possibly look to use that. Look at the Death Grasp coming out right there. Will hit Master of Arms. They're going to try to push this tower. Deadlift wants a tower kill. He may get a steal. Yes, he will. That just was enough to get the tower kill right there. He does die, obviously, but I think that's one of those. I mean, everyone comes, so that's actually worth it in the end for Mystery Gang, I feel.
Yeah, so I don't really want to make a super big deal about this Ring of the Teacher. However, I feel like simply due to because of how long it took them to pick it up. I know it's only like 5 minutes into the game, we're saying like it's really long, but I think it kind of does make a difference because had they picked that up like even maybe 2-3 minutes into the game, that tower would have went down. And the only reason why ECX was able to defend it was because they were able to pick up some of their level 6s and make those rotations over.
Yeah.
So it really just, I think, came down to like a timing thing for Mystery Gang here. If they were able to take that tower down maybe by the 4 or 5 minute mark rather than pushing the 6 and on, as we have a kill coming in, hasted Behemoth, taking out MOA in the middle lane. I think it really just came down to a timing thing. And as I pointed out, which I made a guess about, the 6-7 minute mark, the experience really going in favor of ECX. We see them now at like a 2,000 experience lead.
Yeah. And that's definitely having a significance here. Voodoo Chester, meanwhile, he got his Chris Ground off at least, but he does fall. There's a jump on a Pyromancer. Shadowstorm coming out, trying to follow up with the burst as Parasite comes in as well, and yep, it will be enough for the kill. Obviously, Behemoth, he is going to be fine in the back. Or Chris Ground, no damage really on him, though. That death grip, though, man, is pretty on point here from Fun. Got to say that. He's landed several of these that have been pretty impressive, including that one to secure the kill, as Blitz manages to escape as well and popping that quick in. And he's going to run the hell on out of there. So a couple of nice kills. Again, you look at the goalie, 2,000 goalie right now for the team, but experience, it still is in favor of this Hellborn side. In fact, Swiftblade pushing this top tower in, but he is going to fall back as he feels like maybe somebody's coming in. He's right on that. Here comes a TP, and they'll probably be denied in the end. It's a little unfortunate there for the Hellborn side, but at least Swiftblade stays alive. Ninehound's kind of been the quiet one, as he tends to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're going to go on him here in the bottom lane, speaking of him.
He's dead. That Chris
No
Ground
dust,
should
though,
be
but... Oh, there it is. Yep, he's gone, so... So, yeah, so now this is going to really... The pace is kind of set now to slow down if you're a Mystery Gang, and they just really need to settle down a little bit and just get some levels up. And once they get those level 6s, like on the Pyro, the Blitz... then their damage output and their ability to kill heroes will go significantly up, and I think that they should look to do that. But they are grouping up here again in the middle lane, feeling pressured, I guess, to make something happen.
Yeah. Here comes the tower push. So you see Master of Arms obviously very good at the counter push, puts down the goo. It is maxed out here. He actually doesn't even have his ultimate yet, for that matter.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that because it's hard to say it's good to skip it, but okay, we have a dive. Voodoo Jester going down. MOA gonna be hit with the stun.
Yep, he's dead too. Wow, they dove past the tower for all that, and they got 2 kills out of it though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of risky of them to push simply due to them having the Shadowstorm and the Swift Slashes up for ECX, but they weren't grouped up and they were able to pick them off. So that was actually a really nice job for Mystery. I think this is gonna open up the tower now. Unless the respawn, actually the respawns are already up. So will ECX choose to defend this tower? I don't think they're gonna make it in time.
Oh, here we go. There's the Shadowstorm. It connects on a deadlift. The Quicken. No, it's going to be enough to get away. Beautiful Quicken from Blitz right there to save the day. The tower's also just out of denier range on top of that. So that's also pretty significant. Meanwhile, top lane, Nier goes down, actually, against Justman right here. So he got a little too far up to Nier in the Parasite, but at least a hold here for the Hellborn side in the middle. Again, able to protect the tower for the time being, but again, is out of denier range currently.
Yeah, I definitely thought they could defend that tower, and they did a nice job of making sure to not give that one up.
You know, something I'm also kind of noticing on here, too, is, again, this is obviously very specific to this strategy idea, and Deadlift kind of brings out, you know, this push element as we've been seeing here. His leveling of his abilities, the ultimate, you know, no big deal. That's not a surprise. But he's maxing out his Q here.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I'm actually surprised he's chosen to go for that over the E ability, the Dead Shall Rise. I would imagine that being his strongest ability, at least in this stage of the game. But he's chosen to go for the maxed out Q ability here. I'm not the most experienced Deadlift player myself, and I probably should play the hero more. But yeah, I do feel like that's a mistake.
It does seem like, and I'm also thinking about the Onslaught again. I mean, Onslaught's, especially for the tower pushing, you start leveling that up, the attack speed gets pretty ridiculous, and the cooldown for that matter, obviously even lessened a bit. So, yeah, I think you could argue either the E or the W should be value over the death grip right here. But again, to be fair, he has landed some pretty clutch death grips, and because of the increase on it, you know, a little bit longer lasting as well as the damage output. So, you know, maybe in hindsight, this is kind of working better for them for now. But Portal key on Behemoth, that's also going to be big, as it always is. He's got a Veiled Rock currently. Looking to make a play right here in the middle lane. They want this tower kill.
Yeah, and I don't know if they expect this portal key pickup, so this could be a really big fight for Mr. Gang if they play this correctly. There it is.
There it is. There's the surprise factor. Swift Slashes is going to come out. Down goes Behemoth, but they got the two on Voodoo Jester, Master of Farms. You see Lodestone. He's not going to be able to get in there. Shatterstorm goes off. He was just too much kite. Buyback by Master of Arms, by the way. And he's thinking a fight's going to be happening. Night Out jumps in. The dust goes down, and Smoke Cloud even, and down goes Lodestone. So the buyback on Imbo Boy. That's not typical of him, to be honest. It doesn't really work out in the end.
Yeah, I think he felt that he could have maybe saved Zane there, but I don't know if he didn't have the Master's Call up just yet or not, but it is off cooldown, so
yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if it was up in time actually. But yeah, unfortunately he uses the buyout there and not able to really achieve anything with it, so that's always, that's never a good thing, I should say.
So, I mean, this goes back to the strategy, though, of Mystery Gang. Now, it also goes back to how they kind of drafted it. It's not like an all-in push by any means. And Nighthound, he is getting some pretty significant farm here. Over 420 gold per minute now. He's a top farm in the game. It looks like, in fact, 2 Soul Screamings. That in itself is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He's either going to go for the Firebrand or the Nullfire Blade here. I would like to see the Nullfire, personally. They are up against the Puzzle Box Parasite, so he can use that tool to burn through at least one of the Puzzle Box minions. So yeah, interested to see where Nighthawk goes from here. Deadlift did go for an Astrolabe, so they're going to have that tool to work with for team fights, which I do like. He is building pretty tanky with the vestments and the armor boots. Death Script going to go out here in the bottom lane with the Cloud. That's going to keep him in place.
Yep. Now, he did get the buff from Master of Arms initially, but oh my god, the turn actually. He does stay alive, and now they're going to turn this on Night Out. He's definitely dead, or will they kill Deadlift is the question. It looks like Deadlift should be fine. The Astrolabe peel and everything else, just as you mentioned, being a little too tanky right there, but what a turn. And Lodestone managed to survive in the end, too, for the Hellborn side. So you do see that Firebrand pickup coming out, and unfortunately dies shortly after that. But yeah, I mean, this also is, again, kind of an idea where as soon as they start losing a bit of this momentum here in Mystery Gang is when things can get pretty dangerous for them. So they still have a lead right now, but definitely can't feel too comfortable just yet. Parasite, meanwhile, no. Pyromancer will be fine. It's just port out. Interesting. Blitz going Alchemist Bones, by the way.
Yeah, that's okay, I think, because not only will it help with one of the supports, actually Death Grip going out on the Swift Blade, Neutral is actually doing a lot of damage to him. Master's Call's back up, so that's good. They're going to take him down.
Behemoth comes in anyways to secure. Might as well let him die to the neutrals right there, to be honest. Voodoo Chester goes down as well, so yeah, hindsight there, sure, but he would have been better off letting the neutrals kill him, actually. Behemoth coming in for the snipe there, so well played, and that's a big, again, fine, he's played this hero once or twice before, that's very evident. And Death Grip is not very easy to hit. I mean, it's, the channel, it allows you to hit, okay, maybe it's not the hardest, but...
I don't play the hero enough to comment, but from what I've seen, I think it seems to me to be a pretty, I don't want to call it easy spell.
It's not a straight line stun where you can click on them and it's guaranteed.
It's not like you just click on them and they get mobilized, but
yeah.
I think it's not super hard.
Yeah, it's
at
not
least from what I've seen.
Not a Cthulhu font trample.
Yeah, I don't want to take away any credit, like obviously from he has been doing a really good job, so yeah. I want to clarify that, but he has been doing a good job. But yeah, so the Blitz picking up Alchemist Bones, I like it. It's going to further be another way to deal with the Parasite. It's going to allow at least one of the, allow the 2 supports to pick up a little bit more farm. They have been hovering around this 200 to 250 GPM mark, which is very good for both the supports at this stage of the game. Blitz, obviously an agility hero. He benefits from items just like any other agility hero could. So although he is typically played as a support, he definitely can scale with items such as like the Nullfire Blade, the Staff of the Master, even utility items such as like tablets and Storm Spirits. The hero, he can do a lot of work with more farm.
Yeah.
So I like it. Pyromancer also able to pick up a portal key here. So they're going to have that initiation to follow up the behemoth. So that's always good.
That's good to have that follow up there. Master of Farms gets caught by another Death Grip again, kind of just scouting out with it almost, it seems like. Is what he's doing there. Yeah, Scene Resurrection, at level 2. So this is where it gets decent, I guess you could call it. Level 3 is obviously where it's kind of, as usual with an ultimate, it's prime time. You get the full health and mana as well as only a 2-second channel time. So, level 1 of the ability, though, it's honestly just pretty awful in the end.
Yeah,
so.
it was definitely the right decision by Fine to skip that until now. The ability really doesn't do a whole lot. It's really hard to get it off due to the channel. Obviously that means Deadlift has to sit there and just cast it. So yeah, as you pointed out, it's not really that beneficial early on. But now that he has picked it up level 2, it's going to become at least it's going to play a part in ECX's mind. Now they're going to have to pay attention to gravestones in team fights, which, when team fights are going on, it can get kind of hectic and chaotic. So
Yeah.
it's actually like a big nuisance to have to remember to kill those gravestones, as it kind of can act like a free token for, a very important hero. So
Oh, yeah.
there's that to keep in mind now.
Absolutely, going to have to be worrying about that. Meanwhile, middle lane, could be a fight breaking out right here. Parasite gets caught by the Death Grip, but going to be fine. Simply stalling. Here goes Lodestone. There's the counter, though, from Behemoth. Again on point. Cookies hitting the big ultimate. Unfortunately, not the greatest follow-up. He goes down. Nobody died on the Hellborn side. See Master of Arms, the Master's calling himself to survive. As Nighthound, he's going pretty deep, though. The backstab's doing damage, but so is that Spirit Ward in the Cursed Ground. However, Voodoo Jester going to be picked off. Is the Cursed Ground going to be enough right here? Not even close, actually. Wow, it's a lot weaker than I thought it would have been, so never mind. Yeah, it's only level 2, actually. Wow, okay. Voodoo Jester only level 6 in the first place.
Yeah.
So going to survive there, and the Legion team definitely winning that fight in the end. Oh, tower kill.
Yeah, a nice counter initiation from Behemoth, getting a big shockwave. And I'm actually a little surprised the follow-up from Pyromancer wasn't there. I think instead of him choosing to stun wave the 2 targets that got comboed by Behemoth, he focused his attention on the Master of Arms instead, which, it was okay, because they were able to take down MOA as well. And they do find Lodestone. Actually, I'm not... a little surprised that Zane got caught there, but guess he felt safe.
Yeah, pretty ballsy.
This could open up a Kongor for Mystery Gang now.
Now, obviously Deadlift, decent at it. Now, at the same time, they're not really going all out on Kongor here. They're kind of just poking away at him. They do got some decent vision here that will allow them to see if Hellborn team's trying to sneak in, and especially with Lodestone dead, I mean, that's the one big threat that they would be worried about. So, yeah, this really is a prime time. In fact, they're going to go for a catch here. Voodoo Jester immediately killed. Man, Blitz is on top of these. You see the lightning shackles, the Blitzkrieg, some pretty good damage from those.
Yeah,
like that.
Blitz is a really good hero. I'm actually surprised we don't see him more often. And double damage Nighthound.
Oh,
Token going to go to Nighthound.
Well, Parasite stole the double damage, but yeah, at the last second, just too late, he goes down. Nighthound gets the token, sure enough, and that was probably the worst case scenario, to go in at the last second and still die anyways. Was just trying to ninja though, so. Mystery King, now they're in a spot of actually fairly comfortable here. I mean, this is a decent lead they got going now in this game here.
Yeah, now the big question is, can they break high ground? Because they are going up against both an MOA and a Lodestone, both very good high ground defenders. So it's going to be interesting to see how the base push goes if they do choose to go for a head-on push with the token. But they might be comfortable with just sitting back and getting more farm on their Nighthound before this token is about to expire. We'll have to see what they choose to go for.
Yeah.
And he, by the way, does pick up the Frostburn, which I'm kind of torn whether I feel like that's good or not. I think I did point out the Null Fireblade earlier. I think could be really good. I also think, seeing as how he went for a Firebrand, that he could have chosen to go for a Geometer's Bane. Both really good against the Parasite and the Swiftblade. Blitz goes down to a solo lodestone in the bottom lane.
Huh.
Nice job from Zane. They're getting a pick off.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
though,
man.
Parasite gets caught in response, and he gets a burst off. That mitigation from the Master's Call actually allowed him to survive a lot longer as it does. So he gets a turn kill. Meanwhile, Swiftblade is going to TP away before he gets caught out there. Looks like Resurrection was used, by the way. Yep, it gets Behemoth back up. So he's good to go once again. He still has a shockwave and everything. So yeah, that's a pretty prime spot to do it in right there. And
Yep. So yeah, Behemoth getting a token. He respawns.
that's nice. And actually, he's going to be nearby. Look at it go in. Another big jump from Cookies in the background. Again, there's a follow-up there. This time it is the double tap for Gistman. Lodestone had to win it as well, but his backup was not there, of course, as it just got caught. So what a resurrection from Deadlift, actually. Sets up all of that, as looks like Lodestone
That's
actually
great.
will
Coming
get away.
out. Ooh, nice portal key by Lodestone.
That was close,
But
actually.
yeah, that was a really massive initiation by Behemoth again. He caught both the two cores of Switchblade and Master of Arms, and they immediately dropped from the follow-up from Pyromancer. So like I was talking about in the prior team fight in the mid lane, initiation again.
Lodestone jumping in right there, gets his blitz, but now Lodestone falling in return. Nightown, he's feeling pretty confident here, I'm sure. However, he's dropping pretty low. Again, he does have the token. Doesn't want a suicide, though. And you see Parasite is going to chase in the puzzle box. Looking to make some work. However, he gets caught now. There's the explosion from the Mauler. A lot of support nearby, though. In fact, Nightown, yeah, he got a little too comfortable there. He's probably going to drop again. Going to come back up with a token. Oh, they're not going all out, though. They actually let him survive, even. Don't want him to reset, I guess. So he will get away in the end.
Yeah, so they have token for a little under 2 minutes here. They could look to just regen up the Nighthound and go straight back. There was a buyback, I believe, on the Swiftblade in that fight, so they were able to keep their tower alive at least. So there is that.
Yeah,
Full Dawnbringer picked up by Nighthound.
yeah.
Not a fan. Not a fan.
I agree. He doesn't seem like your traditional, right-click carry here. He seems like more of the amp damage, like the Nullifier Blade.
It's just not only that, but it's just he doesn't really spam mana costing spells to warrant picking
True.
up the Light Brand. I just feel like that 2,200 gold is really wasted. It was one thing to pick up the Frostburn just to have a chasing tool and to bulk himself up a bit, but I think that Dawnbringer was a little over the top. He's gonna go here, Behemoth Shockwave.
Jeez. Master of Farms has had struggles, man. They're trying to respond right here. Behemoth, he's going to live, though. Nightown will finally get taken out, but again, that token to bring him right back up. Pyroman's a good stun, as well as Blitz, and they're getting kills. It is the Legion side right here in Mystery Gang, and they want more. Damn it, they're going to get more. Hat-trick coming out for Imba Pingu, and how about this? Mystery Gang defeating Evil Corporation right now, trying to tie the series and force that third and final game, and definitely continuing to be in a great spot to do so here. I mean, they've just been in control this whole game, really. ECX has nothing going for them. Master of Arms, Imba Boy, he just hasn't been able to do anything this game.
There's the GG's being called.
Wow.
So we're going to have a game 3 breaky.
That's crazy. I guess that's a way to beat a team like or Evil Corporation, excuse me, especially if you're a team like Mystery Gang and a little lesser experienced, of course. Bust out some crazy different strategies, and they do that here. Deadlift a big part, 3-1 and 18, man. Impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to be interested to see if we see a Deadlift blind band in this next game. I think ECX definitely drafted an okay lineup to dealing with this type of strategy. I'm trying to figure out what necessarily went wrong, because I feel like with the Lodestone and the MOA, they had a pretty decent way of dealing with the pushes. I think the Behemoth, honestly, was the biggest factor in this game. He landed some, gotta give Cookies, MVP shout out this game. Landed some massive shockwaves on both the Switchblade and the Master of Arms in multiple team fights. I think that definitely put his team in the prime spot to win this game. So really well played. Not only to him, though, of course, his entire team played pretty well.
No, yeah, if you weren't going to say it, I definitely was. I'm glad you did about Behemoth there. Yeah, that really had to be the factor. He had 3 or 4 that I can even recall, especially that one after the resurrection was huge from Deadlift there. And that kind of put them in a spot to really secure the game. Obviously, Nighthound, he was able to do plenty himself. And, yeah, team effort in the end. The blitz support, I know he mentioned